All right, evening, folks. My name's Phil Gallagher. I run ThrabenU University, a site for legacy death and taxes. It is an exciting day for a number of reasons. Number one, we're going to keep playing some Bomberman. We're 3-1 right now. Number two, Stoneforge Mystic got itself unbanned in Modern. So we're going to be trying that out tonight. So just in case you weren't here for the Bomberman stream before, I'll just give you kind of a quick overview of the deck. This is the most recent iteration of Bomberman that is playing both Mystic Forge and Karn the Great Creator as sort of a package deal. Mystic Forge lets you go and play 1,000,000,000 D artifacts. Karn shuts off your opponent's artifacts while also giving you a combo kill and having some of the resiliency for your combo. I'm super excited to play some Modern here, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump directly into this Legacy match. So I'm sitting at, what, a 75% win rate with Bomberman between the event that I played in on Saturday in this league or something like that. Well, you are here just in time for the Bomberman match. So, been feeling pretty good about Bomberman. Definitely not excited for Modern. Don't even know what a Stoneforge Mystic is. Yeah, I'm really surprised about the number of changes that they made in this announcement, right? So, not only did they, ban a problem card in Modern, and another problem card, they also gave us something back in Modern, and did a little trimming in Vintage, which I think was probably very healthy. So, all in all, it is a very, very exciting day for multiple formats. This is a huge change for both Modern and Vintage. You know, and as everyone and their mother expected, no change to Legacy, right? Felchmaster, to be completely honest with you, I have not really looked into the new Commander decks very much. I haven't seen anything running around on Twitter that has made me go oh, that's definitely a thing. But I'm very ignorant of what new cards there actually are. I will at some point sit down with a full visual spoiler of the new cards and, look for myself. But I just don't know as of right now. But historically, there's just about always been something from those sets. Ah, we're playing against Cliffy. This is not an exciting hand. We have, multiple pieces of different things that don't really work well together. We're going to mulligan this and try to find a Chalice hand. Well, this is a Chalice hand. I need to throw back either Salvagers or Karn here. I think I'm going to throw back Salvagers. Don't Thoughtseize me. Don't do it, Cliffy. Alright, technically that was not Thoughtseize. So that's nice and all. So this is kind of why I kept the Karn, right? The Karn is a hate card for this matchup, whereas Salvagers might let me win. Playing out the Karn is a pseudo-hate card. Well, we would have drawn another one anyway. Alright. Bobble. Opal. LED, Caracas. We've got a pass here. And we're going to live in an awkward world where if we draw a card with the bobble, I shut off my Mox Opal. So I'm going to look at trying out an aggressive D&T shell today, just with a playset of Mirran Crusaders and a bunch of equipment between main deck and sideboard, and see how that goes. Trying out Aven Mind Sensor to keep some degree of search hate. But there's real tension in Modern between Leonin Arbiter and Stoneforge Mystic. So you have to decide if you want to awkwardly play both of those things, or if you're like going to give up one or the other. I think it's easier for the splash builds than the mono white builds. Like, I kind of think that a black-white build is probably where I'm going to end up wanting to be. And I think I am going to go ahead and take the draw here. It's just awkward. Alright, opponent has an Infernal Tutor on top. Yeah, it's just Jitse. So I think I'm going to start out with a Sword of Fire and Ice in the main deck. And follow it up with the Batterskull main deck. And then play maybe about 2 pieces of equipment in the sideboard as tutor targets. So this is going to be an ad nauseum from 18. That should just be a kill. Especially since Cliffy hasn't played a land yet. Alright, so there's a way to get Hellbent. Oh yeah, that's plenty. So this is just going to be Dark Ritual, LED, LED, Infernal Tutor, Double Crack, and I'm going to die. I'm just going to go ahead and concede here. We've seen enough Storm to know what's going on. Like, the Storm card's already just 9 to begin with. Alright, so we'll probably board in our Crypt. We'll probably board in our LED and just try to combo faster. Like, we can board in these 3 cards, board out Mystic Forge, and just go lower to the ground. So my opinion is that it is too early to say anything about what is going to be viable in Modern, because we've weakened or killed a number of archetypes while creating new archetypes. There's probably going to be a period of 2 or 3 weeks where people mess around with a lot of things, and there's going to be things that appear to be viable and fine, and then things will settle out. I don't really think I don't really think Death and Tax is gonna end up being the best Stoneforge Mystic deck. I think that Honor will probably go to something that's trying to use it in an unfair way. This hand is very fair. We're gonna mulligan that. This hand is great. I think we're just going to ship one of our 2 Karns here. So with 1 mana source between Bobble and our draw for turn, we can just produce Karn next turn. Chalice into Karn is a pretty sick line. See a random card over there. A polluted Delta. Don't care too much about that. And we're going. Oof. Turn 1 Karn is not particularly common. If you play a league, you might do it once in a league. Next turn, we can just Mycosynth Lattice lock my opponent, which is cool. My opponent might be sitting here thinking about whether or not to like float some mana for an Echoing Truth or something like that. It's just extremely awkward. Okay, so this is really cool. I can just crack my LED here to make 3 mana and redeploy the Chalice on 1. Which I think is just correct to do. That's one I've never had come up before. Was hoping you'd miss the line. No. No. So do I have anything that I actually want to minus for right now? Not really. I might just get a Mystic Forge for the sake of putting 1 in my hand. Hey JD, welcome. You just missed me cracking a Lion's Eye Diamond so I could cast my Chalice of the Void. Isn't Legacy great? So note, this is not a mistake for my opponent. They're not forgetting about my Chalice. They're trying to get Hellbent to play towards Infernal Tutor lines actually working. Alright. Didn't really leave a great tutor target, so like, we're just going to get some Mystic Forges and hang out. think I'm just going to plus that with no target. And then pass my turn. Alright, so they're drawing a delta. Alright. Go, Gadget, Mystic Forge. That was disappointing. Let's grab that Mycosynclatus now. We can just cast it next turn. Hey, welcome. Alright, and I take that one down. My opponent can't actually crack the LED, so they can't get enough going on there. Yeah, my opponent knew what was up. Okay. Land, Opal, LED. So my turn 2 can be Mentor, make 1, 2, 3 monks. I don't actually have a chalice here. With an artifact, this can become turn 1 mentor plus make 1 monk. And then potentially combo off quickly. I think I'm supposed to keep this one, even though it's just kind of like objectively bad against like my opponent's deck. But I think it just presents 2 different ways of killing quickly, so that the hand is resilient to a Thoughtseize. So I don't think it's actually worth mulliganing this. I don't think I'm supposed to play either one of those out. Alright, so we have entirely too much mana. Entirely too much mana. I don't even have a single bobble to combo with. It occurs to me that I actually should have played out my LED because I actually am not producing true white right now with my hand. Yep, alright, punished for that. Super, super punished for that. If I had the LED in play, they would have taken an opal, and then I could have just comboed off this turn. So my opponent gets an Echoing Truth there. Yeah, I'm somehow not dead. I don't really get that personally. Clippy's hand has been exactly as much of a clunker as mine. So my opponent had fetched away the Echoing Truth. So right now, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. If I keep this in hand, if I play this in hand, then 4, 5, 6. If I just play this, any one spell next turn will mean that I'm presenting lethal. So I think it will just be correct to play that out. Some Bomberman lists have Ancient Den so that they can go and turn on Mox Opal for Metalcraft. So I think I unquestionably won this game if I played out my Lion's Eye Diamond. I didn't notice at the time that I had no actual way to produce white. Putting the Lion's Eye Diamond in play would have meant that I could have just like drawn 20 or so cards with Bobble. So if I lose this one, it's not on the deck, it's on me for making a mistake. The deck has done fine in paper. The deck tends to have less publicity than it deserves because it is an extremely expensive deck to play online. Like, using my loan account, it costs me almost $500 worth of stuff to borrow, and I already have a bunch of pieces of the deck from playing Red Prison. So this is Storm 9, so my opponent does get to just kill me here. GG's. Alright, that one was my fault. We should have 4-1'd that one. But we 3-2'd. No, I don't want to close Magic Online. I want to play some Modern. Okay. So, oh, right. I need to take 30 seconds here and return some cards to my friends at Card Hoarder. They are one of the sponsors of my stream, and if you just check out their service, I just asked to return my cards, and a bot, within like 10 seconds, was able to go and message me and pick up all of my stuff. So, if you're considering using any sort of card service, I give my full approval to Card Hoarder here. They've done very, very well for me. Okay, so that's 29 cards. That's exactly what I had in my cart before. All right. Oh no, are we out of stock on Giver of Runes? Hey chat, does anyone have Giver of Runes that I can borrow for about 2 hours here? It appears that everyone and their mother is currently trying to go and play D&T. Hey Cliffy, good games. I got super punished for not playing out that LED. I could have totally comboed off, but right after I passed the turn, I said, you know, I should play out that LED because I actually don't have anything that produces white. Alright. How much do Giver of Runes actually cost? Yeah, let's buy. Does it just go bot? Are they dead now? That's kind of weird. Alright. Looks like I'm going to actually have to like go and buy some Giver of Runes. Womp womp. Can't create a second binder name tick, so I already have one. No, we're playing Giver of Runes. Giver of Runes is a really quite good card. Alright, how did I go and get rid of everything? Sorry for the downtime here. I haven't had to actually like buy some cards on Moto in a very, very long time. Man, I wish I could just use Mother. Alright, how much does it set me back? Ah. Oh, that's a little rougher than I wanted, but whatever. The rest of the stuff we just get from Card Hoarder, because they're the best. Alright, so while I'm waiting on my stuff to arrive, quick sort of like deck tech on what I'm going to try to accomplish tonight. So, my thought is, when I first try out STONEFORGE Mystic, I'm just going to stay aggressive and see how that works out. We need to have something disruptive to go and replace Leonin Arbiter. So Phyrexian Revoker is probably an okay starting point as far as that goes. So I'm playing Revoker over Leonin Arbiter, and for the Blade Splicers I have Crusaders, and for the Remorseful Clerics I have Aven Mind Sensor. We're just going to try 2 pieces of equipment in the main and see how that goes. Legacy plays 3, but Jitte is cheaper and more hard castable, and Modern also has more answers to equipment and more answers to artifacts. So I kind of feel like the equipment is a little safer in Legacy than it is in Modern. So Cardboard Live should now be updated with my new deck list. Should. I'm just going to confirm that before I get going here. Hey, there we go. All right, it's updated. Let's go in battle. No, it is really exciting. I haven't played a new Modern format in a couple of years where everything is unknown and untested. I expect a lot of people to be trying out Stoneblade decks and various Urza decks with the Thopter Sword package, as well as Batterskull and Stoneforge Mystic. I don't necessarily know that we're going to win a lot tonight, but I want to learn some things. That's what I care about. We have a decent disruptive hand of Thalia into Mind Sensor with double Revoker, and if Revoker is good in this matchup where my opponent has mulliganed to 5 cards, I'm going to feel pretty great for Shot and Port for Modern Horizons too. I don't think I get to ask for any other birthday presents today, seeing as A, I already got Stoneforge, and B, it is not anywhere close to my birthday. This is going to be a matchup where we really feel the absence of Leonin Arbiter. Alright, so my opponent has naturally 2 pieces of Tron on turn 2 after a mull to 5. That feels pretty bad. If my opponent doesn't have the 3rd piece, I think it's better to just jam the Thalia down their throat and tax every single spell that they're going to do. So is this tapped or untapped? I forget. Just puts it onto the battlefield. Okay. So let's do that in my opponent's turn, I suppose. And I don't think it's worth waiting a turn to go and try to, like, make all that work with Aven Mind Sensor. Alright, so you Sylvan Scrying. That's cool. So now I get to put in a Revoker and shut off one of your things. Yes. Revoker. I name an Oblivion Stone with that one. We're going to leave that at 2 with the intention of... Oh, man! Nice. With the intention of casting Aven Mind Sensor. It ended up being awkward. But that's okay. So I don't think they have anything they can do at instant speed with a green. Yes. This. We'll name Ugin with that one. I'm going to go ahead and leave that at 2. The reason being that it works best with Stoneforge Mystic if we happen to rip it. Don't Tron me? Alright, they have Troned me. That is not the best for me. Not gonna lie. I may be able to beat that. It's unfortunate they didn't take our Thalia. Because we have 2 more. Now we're going to want the potential to Flicker Wisp. So we blew up 2 Tron lands, and it was not enough. That was Mulda 5 through 2 pieces of land destruction, assembled Tron on 6. It's pretty good. Alright. Yep, that's a thing. I'm not sure how we win now. I guess I chump block this and then just try to aggro them out in the air. Or alternatively, I can take this hit, draw Flicker Wisp, flicker this, hit for chump block this the following turn with the Flicker Wisp, forcing them to hold. No, actually, I think I don't. Well, no, I'm going to block. No, I'm not. I think the Flicker Wisp line is the one where I live. It's just like so awkward that I have triple Thalia here. All right. Playing towards our outs. Yeah, World Breaker has reach, but I'm going to have multiple flyers, right? So that's not that big of a deal. The line that I was playing towards has me Legend Rule my own Thalia for an additional blocker. Yeah, that is not great. Gutshot the Bob, thank you very much for your continued support. The card has a lot of text. So they need to exile one of my flyers and hold back both creatures. Is that accurate? Well, no, they don't need to hold back both creatures. If they attack with this, my chump block is obligated. All right, Path to Exile, Flicker Wisp. Not Stoneforge Mystic. That doesn't work, right? Field of Ruin, not gonna do it. This has reach. I'm dead to this thing attacking and exiling my entire library. GG. No good here. Alright, so what do we have for Tron? I can Relic Order away some artifacts. I could play Thorns. This sword seems very good. I can consider playing some of these over Paths if I want. So, what's not great? The Revokers and the Thalias are great. Alright, how about a great pile? Like, what is not coming out of the deck? These aren't coming out. These aren't coming out. These aren't coming out. Giver is probably borderline textless if they're just playing green. I didn't see like Groves or anything that for like a red-green with Pyroclasms. So maybe these should be my first thing to come out. And maybe trim some of the aggro elements. Like, I know I want this. I'm pretty sure I want that. Some number of additional answers to their stuff is probably okay. I'm unsure about, like, do I want to try to Relic Order away some of their big artifacts / like their maps and such. I don't know if that's too ambitious. I don't have matchup experience. Let's try this. That's some easy mulligan. That's a keep. This hand is going to play out very similar to last time. My opponent has mulligan. I'm going to keep this hand. I'll be throwing back one of my planes. We'll throw back the ugly one that doesn't match. It's not actually that ugly. I just really like this snow-covered plains. My opponent has mulligan to 5. Is this typical for Tron? Do they tend to go this deep in order to try and get good hands via London mulligan? I do not know. Do I just want to shut that off? Just strand a card on the table? It could be cutting them off green by doing so on a mulligan. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Is this a mana ability? I actually can't shut... Alright, hold on. No, I can't shut that off. Sorry, I had a pithing needle moment there. I just wanted to, like, double check and make sure I wasn't an idiot. Okay, we're good. We're good. I do love me some Blood Moons. Nice. So we're just going to main phase this Mind Sensor here. Should technically do it post-combat, but, you know, here we are. No, Mind Sensor doesn't completely neuter it, it just extremely weakens it. My opponent is still likely to hit something with the map. I don't really understand my opponent's use of Ghost Quarter. Like, I think they're used to playing against Arbiter. So now I either get to play Flicker Wisp or Thalia. If my opponent hits the last piece with map, I'm in really bad shape. If they don't, having this Thalia... Oh, fuck, I should have played my Ether Vial first. Having this Thalia in play would be pretty stellar. Alright, they hit it. So now life's bad. Thalia's still doing something. Oh, great. And Ugin is right around the corner. Alright. Let's shut that off. And hope that this is good enough. My opponent has like an All Is Dust or an Oblivion Stone. I'm super sad. And alright, we get another game out of him. Definitely going to be a little bit scary to be on the draw here. And on the draw, do I want this Leonin Relic Order? Like, it's possible I shouldn't be playing 3 pieces of equipment. I should still just be playing 2. And maybe one of these is just better than a generic beater like Mirran Crusader. This one's a mulligan. I really need 2 pieces of mana. This one's a keep. I don't see myself having 5 mana to go and equip this anytime in the early game. But at the same time, having an out to a Planeswalker or an O-Stone or something like that seems good. So I'm going to toss back my Crusader. I'm going to toss back my generic beater here and see how this goes. Being on the draw here is probably going to be just too rough to overcome. All right, at least my opponent didn't... Oh, that's actually very good. To finish the thought, at least my opponent didn't lead on another Tron land and just, like, threaten turn 3 Tron. We get some wiggle room here. And then hopefully I can just, like, double Ghost Quarter their lands, keep them off Tron somewhat permanently. Having them, say, play out a map here or something like that that just sits on the table would be stellar. Alright, so they get a tower. Alright, so age-old trick. We cast a Flicker Wisp. I Flicker Wisp, I target my Ghost Quarter. It comes out. It comes back. And let's junk their power plant. Yeah, the On Thin Ice has been my additional removal in Modern, and I think it's very good. An expedition map, you say? Alright, so they got another power plant. I think this is just going to be a 2/2 cat. I think that's where my life is at right now. Well, the good news is we can just get that out of the way. The bad news is it's sort of a nuisance. So I should actually just, like, take a second to think, do I just want to Mind Sensor instead of that this turn? So this is when it leaves play. So when it leaves play, they're going to get a 3/3 Beast token. That 3/3 Beast token will still stonewall these things. Yeah, I think I'm going to just main phase a Mind Sensor here. And throw out this Flicker Wisp. Let's see what they can do. Do they have, like, Dismember or something, and they're trying to figure out how to pay for it with Thalia? Ooh, Dismember the Thalia. Interesting. Oh, so this is in hopes of, like, using Ancient Stirrings, which isn't technically searching, I see. Spatial contortion. Okay. So next turn, I can potentially kill. So I can hit for 5 in the air. I can make it 7 in the air if I fetch Sword of Fire and Ice. Oh, I boarded that out, so we'll take the Batter Skull. And now I will go ahead and just throw this out there. And just convert that into a beast, because I'm getting to the point where that body may become relevant to the game. And all his dust here super sucks, by the way. That is also pretty devastating. They're gonna just let me have the Batter Skull? Yeah, I don't know about that one. So now I get Batter Skull, or I can attempt Sword of Sinew and Steel and equip. If I attempt Sword of Sinew and Steel and equip, on Leonin Relic Order, my opponent either... That actually gets pretty interesting. So what does it mean about my opponent's hand if they did not kill my Stoneforge, knowing that I have Batter Skull? I guess it means that they have something that in one way or another can answer it. Yeah. So I'm going to go for Sword of Sinew and Steel and equip. It either forces the action on Ballista, gets rid of a beast, or does crazy things. My opponent's getting to the point that even without Tron, they can just start hard casting all their crazy big stuff. And I think I'm just going to plan to have this Batter Skull around as a hard castable threat. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So opponent has Ugin. That's pretty strong. My Batter Skull's quite poor against that. So let's take a redraw. That's no good. So we're probably just going to be dead to that. We're not, like, technically dead. Like, we can go to 1, assuming we can do something about the Thrag Tusk. Which we cannot. Dead. Alright. So I feel like we had fine hands for that matchup. Like, we curved, like, Thalia into Mind Sensor both games, and it just wasn't good enough. Like, I made some small technical errors that did not end up being costly, but that, like, certainly mattered. But we just kind of got overpowered there. Aven Mind Sensor versus Leonin Arbiter's difference was absolutely huge there. But that's okay, you know. Say la vie, so it goes. Well, let's hop right back in. I would like to play first. Keep. We have a pretty solid hand. I like that we're going to get, like, the surprise Batter Skull, in that, like, we're going to search up a piece of equipment that's just, like, not Batter Skull. What are you playing against? Are we still trying to make the graveyard shenanigans happen? Because it looks like we're still trying to make the graveyard shenanigans happen. Is this 2 each? I should probably just revoke that. So we'll see what my opponent can do now. I don't know how all in on this Shriekhorn their hand was. They lost Faithless Looting, so I think they're largely on Cathartic Reunion as their thing that fuels. Oh god, Dark Blast. That's not so great for me. They don't have black mana showing right now, though. So that's something that's at least kind of cool. This Bloodghast may be returning multiple prized amalgams, basically immediately. So let's start preemptively doing something to fight against those blue bodies by getting a sword. A lot of the scariest scenarios for me now this turn are going to involve my opponent having a black fetch land. Sword Equip, thank you very much for your continued support and an impressive 13-month streak. Praise be to Thalia. So my opponent could, like, wreck my board pretty darn well with this card right now. Blast Zone in there, too, huh? Man, those Creeping Chills plus my Painland together were rough. So, life's bad. I can path to exile one of these, block one of them, take 4, and then there was some haste guy, right? So they're going to unearth that. I can block one of these, path one of these, and then just die to everything else that's there. And the blood gas can definitely come back, even if I kill them. Alright, what I have right now is not good enough. So I guess I need to start here. Draw a 3-drop. Have opponent not play a land as well. That is a Thalia. It is not a 3-drop. So I can play Thalia as a blocker, but Path to Exile is just better. So I'm going to play out an Ether Vial and hope that they play Scared now. Alright, Creeping Chill, rough. Alright, so what sort of things do we have here? Exile-based removal is good. Rest in Peace is great. And I'll probably play Thorn as well. What's not great in this matchup? Some of this stuff is going to be awfully slow. My opponent's not really going to be searching. The mind sensors are going to be of medium value, so I can probably board some of that out. What else am I supposed to do? It's possible that I don't really need all of these copies of On Thin Ice. That I'm actually supposed to just play some. I guess my Flicker Wisps are kind of medium value. This would leave me with 21 creatures. That's probably okay. That one's got to be a mulligan. I can't do anything with it. This one's got to be a mulligan. It does literally nothing. This hand is amazing. Snap, keep. And I think I'll just be pitching my Ether Vials to keep all of my cards that matter for the matchup. We're going to try to make Modern D&T great again. There's some definite problems with what I've got going on. I am really missing Arbiter. No messing around, just nuke him. I don't want to, like, play Thalia and then randomly die for doing it. That's annoying. Regardless of whether or not it's actually possible, people are going to try. Good lord, 3 creeping chills already? Okay. That's fine. I'm fine. Maybe I made an error by not playing the Thalia out first prior to the Rest in Peace, but I only had 2 lands at the time, so I'm pretty sure my sequencing was correct. And it just happened to not work out here. Do I want to destroy that blast zone because it can muck with my on thin ice? I don't think so. I think my opponent needs that land. And it doesn't really behoove me to just go and ghost quarter them. Because they have Life from the Loams available. Excuse me. Alright, they have assembled all of the Narcomoebas. So that's cool. And definitely walls out what I'm doing right now. After triple Creeping Chill, I'm probably just going to lose to Narcomoeba Beats. Like, there's other incoming problems too, but... So I think I need to Ghost Quarter the Blast Zone so that I'm not just stone cold dead to them destroying my double on thin ices. Yep. I give you a Bloodghast, I take away your Bloodghast. This makes it so that I permanently answer that card, which is cool. But again, the clock of 4 1/1 flyers is very real. So for the record, my opponent should have used that Shriekhorn activation in response to the Ghost Quarter in the first place, in all likelihood, to like actually get back that prized amalgam. It's not going to matter because I'm just going to die, but, you know, good habits. They were good about it every other time. Do I have any outs? So, like, I just hit my opponent. I play Mirran Crusader. I draw Stoneforge. I can't get a piece of equipment and connect. I have nothing that can deal with 4 1/1 flyers simultaneously. Nope, we're dead. Not starting out strong here with the Stoneforge Mystic. Hey, Innistrad Revenue Service. I hope all is well. It should be. We get to play with Stoneforge again. Games so far have been a little rough. But we did play against two sort of like fast-ish combo decks in a row, so that's okay. Let's play against like some mid-rangey stuff where like our Stoneforges actually get to like go and do something. That'd be cool. We have a pretty medium-looking hand, but I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. All right. If this is Jund and we have double Mirran Crusader, I'm pretty happy. Yeah, if you don't play Arbiter, you need something else that's hateful. And I'm playing both the Revokers and the Mind Sensors to try and bridge that gap. Alright, so we're probably going to play Thalia directly into a Fatal Push or Lightning Bolt. But that's the world that I'm living in. You know, I kind of just want to play this Revoker out prior to the Crusader and put the Revoker on Liliana of the Veil. But if they have a different Planeswalker and I'm wrong, it's super awkward. If they had the Lily of the Veil, would they have just jammed it? Yeah, they probably just would have jammed it and started plussing to like create 2 edicts, so maybe they don't have it. I'm going to play it this way. Yeah, if we just like put Revoker out on Lily of the Veil, then we fold to Lily Last Hope if they have that. Alright, so they had a bolt. So now we're hoping for, like, not Bloodbraid. Bloodbraid into another value card is kind of rough here. Yeah, there we go. I mean, it could have been worse, if I'm being honest. It could have been worse. Okay, so they're going to let me keep the Revoker. not really what I want here. So we will revoke a Planeswalker. Kind of just have to gamble. Any of them are bad. I think Lily of the Veil is worse for me. But they're both a disaster. Top decking a Stoneforge is great. Crusader's fine. Batterskull's fine. Just the Sword of Fire and Ice would be solid. One of the other two Crusaders would be fine. K-Command is brutal, although I really think you should have gone for my other card in hand. I think the Field of Ruin is more valuable than the Aether Vial, just like for mana sink reasons. And I'm going to assume that they do have a basic forest, so this doesn't actually take them off a color. Eh. Maybe I should just do it anyway, though. Because it, like, thins my deck as well. Drawing Aether Vial versus Jund feels very bad when you are in the top deck war. Jund in Legacy and Modern is really this long battle of attrition. So when the game goes long, this is not where you want to be. And like now I have to assume that my opponent has like some removal in hand, making my creatures worse. So now I'm just gonna get like the full 20'd by this single Bloodbraid Elf. Drawing Stoneforge is hot, so I can Stoneforge for a Batterskull, but nope, nope, that happens instead. I am a powerful magician. No, Innistrad Revenue Service, we actually have utility for snow. We're playing on thin ice. So, like, we have a real use for that. Alright, Aether Vial, you're fired. Get out. Rest in peace, get in. And probably equipment, get in. I don't know that we're necessarily going to go, like, all 4 pieces of equipment deep, but we very well might. My single target removal is not exactly superb against them, but I still think I want Path to Exile over on Thin Ice because they have like Abrupt Decays and such that actually can remove this, and I don't want that to occur. I could Barenton Forge Tender to try to protect like Mirran Crusaders and such from Lightning Bolt, but I don't know that that's where I need to be. Let's maybe trim one random Mind Sensor. Or actually, maybe Flicker Wisp. Maybe trim one random Flicker Wisp and call it good. Flicker Wisp loses a lot of utility when you're boarding out vials. Keep. Giver of Runes into Thalia with double Crusader available for later. That seems fantastic. Sometimes I wonder, like, how many people actually fully read Giver of Runes? Because since it says another target creature, you don't have to just go and bolt that immediately. You can wait. I've named the wrong Planeswalker. Alright, so really, really, really need to hit my frickin' land drops here. If we do that, I feel fine. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, apparently. Ah. That is so annoying. At least Mom is a core. Or, sorry, Giver is a core. So this is protection from black and green. This creature is green. So, yeah. I'm going to take that. There's already a creature in the graveyard, so it's not like you're growing the Tarmogoyf there. I can just Flickerwisp the Plague Engineer, regrow Mirran Crusader, kill Wrenn and 6 this turn. The Plague Engineer would probably come back down and kill my Flickerwisp, but I think I'd be okay with that if my Mirran Crusaders end up being bigger. Otherwise, I can just play more patiently and, like, just let them keep drawing cards with Wrenn and 6. But I think I just want that thing gone. I assume they just take the value of getting my Flicker Wisp off the table. Nope. I mean, this is just some variant of Death and Taxes, right? There's nothing all that fancy here. Liliana of the Veil, okay. That's tricky. What am I sacrificing? It may just be correct to junk my Giver, give my Flicker Wisp protection from green, and just try to aggro out my opponent. I'd say it's about 60-40 in favor of me being at Atlanta, but it's not 100%. I have to make sure that everything is okay with my new job. Actually, do I want to take the 5 and just take the Bloodbraid Elf off the table? It's 2 more damage and I take a body off. That's probably better. Let's do that. Okay, so I can attack for 5, but I probably shouldn't do that. As long as I stabilize the board, it doesn't matter how quickly I kill my opponent. So let's just kill the Lily and protect my hand. And then play a Mirror Crusader out. We still have my opponent on a 2-turn clock. That's a little scary. My opponent have K command? Okay, no, good. So my opponent can whack me for 7 here. And they have life gain right around the corner. Yikes. Redraw for I don't know what. A sword or something? No, I don't have the mana for that. Yep, so I can hold everything back and still die. Brutal. Things are not looking good for our heroes here. We are getting absolutely bullied. And I thought our hand was great against Jund there. Like Thalia and Double Crusader opener. We, stumbled for like 1 turn? But like Ren and 6 plus Plague Engineer was an absolute beating there. Well, yeah, absolutely, but like everyone knows that right? Like Stoneforge Mystic is not a busted card. It's totally fair by modern standards. It hasn't even been good tonight, really. Like that doesn't mean it's not worth playing, obviously, but it's not like, oh, hey, I stoned for Batterskull and the game ended on turn 3, right? That's just like absolutely never happened here. In mono white, the answer to that question might be no. I think a black white version might end up being better. Like losing the turn 2 play of Arbiter that's good against just so much of the format is a big deal. Like in this format, Arbiter is arguably better than Thalia, and losing access to that to pick up Stoneforge is a little questionable. Right. But if you are playing another disruptive 2-drop in addition to Thalia, that's kind of a big deal. So is our opponent like Merfolk with white? Ah, we have both played the game of one land vial hands. Ah, Spirit Stack. Okay, yeah, I could see that. Alright, what do you got for me? Okay, so it's just a 1/1 spirit for right now. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think I need to path this currently. I'm not scared of this currently. I'd rather get a Lord or something later. Sure. Honestly, I'm fine having access to the mana. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I didn't just like path their 1/1 spirit friend. Yeah, but that Lord doesn't give itself hexproof, right? It's one of those like other spirits ones. That would have been a sick point to just have a Phyrexian Revoker and go like, nope, your Ether Vial doesn't work. I'm going to get the sword here. It's so good if I spike a land. And if I don't spike a land and I just get it another turn down the line, that's still pretty excellent. Flicker Wisp. Speaking of pretty excellent, Flicker Wisping that vial is going to be hot. I could also go for like an Aven Mind Sensor Path to Exile sort of scenario. But I don't even think I want to put myself into the position where I have to do that. I'm just going to hold back. And I think my opponent will do something when they get priority here. Alright. What do you get? I hope they don't have Revokers. I don't think they have Revokers. Oh, you have your own Stoneforge Mystic. Sure. How does that feel? What sound does a bird wizard make? I know what sound. You didn't find anything? I know what sound my opponent makes. It goes roughly like ugh. So it doesn't actually work like that, Eduardo. If you blink out the ether vial in the middle of something, it uses the last known information for the vial. Yeah, it's not exactly intuitive. So what am I equipping? I probably just want to equip my Thalia. I don't necessarily want to equip my Aven Mind Sensor because I don't want that being hit out of play. Is this just working? We've done it. Let's hit that. Do you have Flicker Wisps in there? I feel like you would have Flicker Wisped the equipment if the answer was yes. So now we get to hold up Path to Exile plus put in some big dumb idiot? Alright, friend, what do you got for me? Other spirits you control get +1/+1 and hexproof. How would you feel about looking at the top 4 cards for a land, for example? Would that make you feel, yeah? I didn't even get to Flicker with the vial back to 0 counters. I was going to really enjoy that. Alright, so we're playing some sort of pseudo-mirror against like some sort of spirits deck. So things we can board in are in this pile. We probably won't board in all of those, but those are the things we can board in. War and Peace is probably too deep. I do want this as like basically a Manrihi Gusari to blow up their equipment if they get it going before I can do mine. I don't know that I'm going to play all these. I'll probably play 2-ish. So that would be 5 cards to board in. I'll board out my Thalias to start with and then trim 1 Mirren Crusader. That sounds pretty good to me. Keep. Whenever another spirit enters the battlefield, it gets +1/+1. Counter an instant or sorcery spell unless its controller pays X, where that's its power. Sure. So, opponent, you're on the play. You get to STONEFORGE first. But I have this Aether Vial that's going to tick up. Okay, nope, they're just going to have an aggro me hand. Hey, you know what's good against aggro hands? STONEFORGE for Batterskull! Oh, nice, and we don't even have to pay life here. So, Vendilion Click is a card that I should be cognizant of. It's not a spirit or anything, but it seems like a reasonable card to fight against STONEFORGE Mystics, so it's something my opponent could actually have. Okay. So I can path to exile this, but if my opponent sacrifices Mausoleum Ward, well, I guess I get a creature either way, right? Potentially 2 creatures if they sacrifice? Yeah, so this is fine. And let's do this right now while they don't have mana up. I don't know if they're playing any soft permission, like a Spell Piercer equivalent. Alright, they just take their land there, which is fine. And I am just going to go ahead and put this in right now. Again, respecting the idea that they could possibly have Vendilion Click. Yeah, I am very happy that Jitte is still banned. Like, that card being a defining card of Legacy alone is totally fine by me. Now STONEFORGE Mystic is, like, just fine in Modern. So I do not know a ton about Modern. I haven't been playing it recently for very long. Like, I just picked up Modern again as of, like, less than a month ago. But I do know a lot about playing with STONEFORGE Mystic and friends. So what is my turn? My turn is likely just, like, put in Sword of Fire and Ice, attack with Batterskull, hold up Flicker Wisp for whatever happens. I don't know what that something is. But I'm super happy to make that connection right there. Sure, that's fine. Feel pretty great about this game. My opponent can still wiggle out. This isn't locked up by any stretch of the imagination. Do I just want to, like, trade some bodies here? Like, let's get that Selfless Spirit out of combat. Ah, that's right. I forgot about that part. That gives... Is it this one that gives them all other flash? Or hexproof and flash? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to take 369 damage if I just eat all of this, but then I can go and gain 6 right back. This is fine. Oh, Capons, thank you very much for the raid. I really enjoyed watching your stream a little bit earlier. Very helpful. I took kind of your core that you were doing, and I tweaked it towards my own liking. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and try to trade with the Selfless Spirit here and just take 6. I think if you want another piece of equipment mainboard, that you want something with great utility. So, like, Sword of Fire and Ice is your best generic piece of equipment to fetch up. And if I was going to, like, throw another one in the main deck, I'd probably be looking at something like Sword of Feast and Famine, where when you go and fetch it up, you get to do kind of cool things with it. Alright, we have built a death machine. With the Selfless Spirit gone, now I actually get to shoot things down. Oh god, on thin ice too? Sure. Oh, we're still in combat damage. Yeah, the germ with a sword is kind of gross. We have a lot of power out. Yeah, on thin ice is the reason why I'm running like 12 snow-covered plains or something like that. All right, we're on the board. We're on the board with D&T now. So there we saw Stoneforge Mystic actually getting to do the Stoneforge Mystic things that we wanted it to do, which was really cool. That's the sort of magic that I envisioned when we were like putting this into the deck. But whether or not, like, these 12 cards right here plus these 8 actually represent enough disruption for the format, I'm not entirely sure. Like, a splash build where we get to play something like Tide Hollow Sculler or something like that for additional early disruption might end up being better. Oh, yikes. This is not what you want to see in an opening hand. I'm going to ship this one back. That is also unplayable. Here we are. Good lord. This is my 5. I guess I need to keep this and ship back like Batterskull and Crusader. It just feels absolutely terrible. And I probably lose if I miss my first land drop. Alright, good game. We lost. I think it is going to just be exactly that straightforward. My opponent is a combo deck, and I'm not doing anything to disrupt them. So they're going to get to recycle this Gemstone Mine via the bounce land, and then like put in another land of their choice whenever they want. Yeah. Not meant to be. Again, really, really want Arbiter, but don't have access to it. Like, maybe there's a world where we can go and steal this one with Mind Sensor, but I think it's somewhat unlikely. We would also just, like, need to spike the next land, probably this turn. Land. Shit. So now I probably need to take a redraw and try to draw something disruptive here. Nope, we'll just cycle it into a different land. And I think I'm just at the point where I'm turning all of these things sideways. I probably die to some big scary thing this turn. So my opponent showing has 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Potentially more via Sacro Tribe Scout. Man, if I didn't miss there, we had a shot. Hmm. Oh, do they have the ability to just give it haste now too? They do. Alright, we're just going to go ahead and scoop it up there to that. Let's move on. Alright, what do we have in the sideboard for this? We'll probably play some number of On Thin Ice just to, like, not feed them lands. We'll probably play Thorn when we're on the play to try to disrupt some number of their things. And this is just a finisher, has some degree of utility. I don't super love Path to Exile. Ramping the ramp deck, probably incorrect. This would leave us with 4 single target removal spells for the Primeval Titans or the Sakura Tribe Scouts. My Stoneforge Mystic package is kind of mana intensive for this matchup, so I'm probably going to shave 1 Stoneforge and then probably 1 Crusader and see how we feel about that. I mean, we have double Aven Mind Sensor and something that can interact with the Sakura Tribe Scout, so we're going to be keeping this one. Sakura Tribe Scout. Okay. Do I just like attack and trade this off and hope they don't have another one? If they do have another one, I on Thin Ice the next turn? I think so. Surprise, it's my clearly telegraphed Aven Mind Sensor. Yes, we'll use that ability. And I think Sword of Fire and Ice to give this thing protection is quite nice. If something happens to one of my 2 creatures, I might crack my Horizon Canopy cycle land. Well, boy, did I pick the wrong piece of equipment. Okay, so I can attack the Karn for 3, Flicker with my Stoneforge to get Batterskull, and produce a decent amount of power. I don't think I'm going to cycle this land. I think we're still okay against like a Karn -4 and Ensnaring Bridge, because I think we can just like kill the Karn and then figure out what to do from there afterwards. That presents more of a problem than I am comfortable with. Oh yeah, like I'm definitely enjoying playing with Stoneforge Mystic. Like I love doing that. Okay, so order of operations here. I attack the Karn with both my flyers, and my opponent shoots down both of them. Then I can put in Batterskull and play Thalia. Alternatively, they just shoot down my Flicker Wisp or my Mind Sensor and let Karn stay alive. I don't think worlds where I start by on thin icing the Walking Ballista end up going better. So let's start there and see how it goes. Yep. Yep, okay. So this is going to go about exactly how we expected it to. There is the question of whether or not I should just hold up Aven Mind Sensor instead. And like try to actually get something out of the search clause. I'm just going to pass. Like if my opponent plays Primeval Titan and my response is Aven Mind Sensor, I think that ends up being much, much better for me. Alright, so like they still might find some lands, but probably not the ones they want. Alright, so they got a land out of the deal. And I'm going to get to on thin ice the Primeval Titan away. Ghost Quarter. That's good. That's good. Alright, so I get put in Batterskull, play Thalia. Alright, well, let's start with the obvious. Like, I need to on thin ice. And now I can decide whether or not I want... No, I can't hit with the sword because Karn says activated abilities of artifacts your opponent's control can't be activated. So I can't do the equipping. I have to decide whether or not I want to Ghost Quarter a land and, like, effectively set them back 1 mana. Potentially 2. Or if I... Well, let's do it and get some more information. I guess for Primeval Titan reasons, I want to take one of these that is green. So let's go green-red, because we can also take them off of, like, red-red for Anger of the Gods. Okay. So that's great. Let's bump that Karn down another notch, putting it to 3. And I think I'm just going to put in the Batterskull rather than play Thalia. Thalia's still fine here, but I need to threaten actually killing the Karn. Alright, well that's scary. Can you do anything with it? Alright, what artifact do you have? Oh god, engineered explosives. For 1, that will get back the Primeval Titan. And blow up my Ether Vial as collateral damage. Okay. So I can not equip the Batter Skull again once it's destroyed. But I can kill the Karn. So that's cool. Let's start there. Yep. Alright. This is potentially a problem. So if they have 7 or more lands with different names, they start getting zombies. So they hit 2 lands there, unfortunately, both of which were utility lands. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different names currently. Batter Skull can be re-equipped as of next turn. The Primeval Titan is a problem. Unless... Well, alright. It's still a problem, but... With Karn gone, we can do something towards trying to trade with the Primeval Titan. Alright, so they're searching. Jeez. Jeez. Alright. Am I trading with that thing so that it does not continue to attack? I think I have to. And then just plan on re-equipping the equipment elsewhere. They have a Karn as a follow-up. I'm so dead. Yep. There we go. And now Bounce Lands plus Field of the Dead plus Azusa is just absolutely disgusting. And I'm getting Mycosynth Lattice locked, too. Alright. Good game. Alright, so that was rough. We went 1-4 there. I don't like this first draft of a deck list. It is just... Alright, let's sort this by converted mana cost. This felt like my curve was too much up here most of the time. So my thought for draft 1 is, while everyone is figuring everything out, let's just be aggressive with Mirror and Crusader, like playing some hate for some of the matchups that might be kind of tough in the main deck. But losing out on Arbiter versus something like this meant that I had fewer high-impact cards at the 2-drop slot. So I think I want to experiment with a black-white build next, so that I get, like, say, something like Tide Hollow Sculler in these slots. Yeah, sure, but if they weren't Crusaders, they would have been Blade Splicers or Restos or something like that, right? Like, any sort of generic beater is probably going to be in this slot one way or another. So I think I want to play around with black-white. I think I need more early interaction. It just kind of felt like I was on the wrong end of most of the matchups tonight. Like, admittedly, my draws weren't the best, but You know, if things were a little better, I could have seen myself 3-2ing the league at the absolute best. I couldn't have seen myself doing better than that. So let me see if I can find a black-white list and like try to sketch out some ideas. I assume this is going to be what they call white weenie. Nope, that's something entirely different. Does this get filtered under Eldrazi? Nope, that's Ultron. Is this just like too small of a presence in the metagame to even have a tag? Yikes. Alright. Black, white, Eldrazi, taxes, modern. Oh. Orzhov mid-range. Okay, yeah, here we go. Well, this is a weird build with Noble Hierarch. Alright, all these decks are fired. Okay, so you have a player on MTG Goldfish. Okay, there we go, thank you. So, looking at this, let's see kind of how we would slot it into this. We would have to get rid of Leonin Arbiter. And probably go up to 4 Thalias to make up for that. Or, the slots seem kind of tight to throw in a 6-card package. So if I was going to like edit this, I'd have to junk the Arbiters, maybe trim a Displacer. Yikes. Displacer's really good though. You could trim 4 Arbiters and 1 Displacer to go and play 3 Stoneforges and 2 pieces of equipment. I don't think you can go down to like 21 lands either. Huh. It may be more difficult than I thought to just slot Stoneforge Mystic in to a lot of these decks. Because just trying to jam it into the mono white list I played tonight didn't feel good. I think jamming it into this will feel better, but I don't know that we actually have 6 slots for it. Like, are you going to do something like play fewer than 4 givers? Like, cut 4 arbiters, cut 1 giver, cut 1 displacer to play the 6-card package? I could see something like that being reasonable. Yeah, this is going to be something that is not going to be solved overnight. It also may be that like a better home for this is like some sort of hybrid deck that is just some sort of like Chalice, Eldrazi, Thalia, Stompy shenanigan deck might end up being a better home for StoneForge that looks like this. Again, not 100% sure, but like very much willing to entertain ideas for right now. Yeah, it just seems like total blasphemy to me to play fewer than 4 Thalias just because of how good it is in Legacy, but it's definitely worse in Modern. So I can see playing the like 3 Thalias or whatever. All right, I think that's kind of where I'm at right now in terms of deck buildings and thoughts. If you have thoughts, if you have deck lists and stuff, I would love to see them. I'm at Mangara Lock on Twitter, and I'm gonna be playing a lot of Modern now. I have things to think about for the format, and I'm interested in it again. I mean, would I be willing to entertain the idea? Yeah. There was someone else talking about a blue-white deck that used Spell Quellers and Unsettled, Unsettled Mariner as sort of like the way to fill the rest of your slots. Yeah, Capon's actually hosted me. I really like Capon's content. I don't watch as much as I'd like to, but I started playing Modern again as of like a month ago, and I picked up one of his lists and like had a great run with it. And like from time to time, when he's streamed some Legacy or I've been bored and I've streamed some Modern, I've really enjoyed watching what he's done. Thank you very much for your continued support. I really appreciate it. So rather than sit here and just kind of like muse about D&T for any longer, I'm just going to see if I can turn you over to someone else for some awesome content. Looks like someone else is playing StoneForge Mystic with some Modern. Oh geez, there's so many people playing some stuff. Let's see. I suppose I should host someone who's playing Modern, since I myself am playing Modern now. Folks, if you enjoyed this Modern stream and you haven't been around before, please consider following. I'm usually streaming Legacy and Modern D&T on this channel, or things that are like this. And if you're really enjoying the content, please consider throwing your Twitch Prime money this way or doing something else to support my channel. I will be back again soon. Let's raid.